In this video, we are going to discuss two proven strategies that you can start using right away to grow your list in any niche market. And these two strategies are ad swaps and solo ads. And you can use these two highly effective strategies to build your list, like we said, in any niche market. And we'll show you how on the next slides. So here's a little bit about ad swaps and solo ads. They are a highly effective way to build your list from scratch. In fact, using these methods, as we'll discuss, you can actually see how you can go from no list to having a list if you use this strategy wisely. And this is a tremendous way to get yourself targeted leads onto your list. It's a very fast way to build up your opt-in list. A lot of methods out there. It may take a while because you've got articles, videos, and those are all very powerful methods, and we will discuss those. But a way to get people on your list rather quickly, you can do that with ad swaps and solo ads, and that's very important. This strategy is not used as much as it should be, considering the power of it. It's something that you don't see taught very often, and it's another method that you don't see a lot of people using, but it can be extremely effective no matter what niche market you're trying to pursue. It's great for creating joint ventures and getting experience contacting others in your niche market as well, because a lot of the principles that you do to set up an ad swap or to set up a solo ad, they're mutually beneficial arrangements that you're setting up, which is the perfect setting for any kind of joint venture. So it's going to give you that experience plus give you contacts so that when you have a product to promote of your own, like your own digital information product, you can actually reach out to these joint venture partners and maybe they'll partner with you. And on top of that, the same people you're contacting for ad swaps and solo ads are literally the same group of people that you should be pursuing anyways when you have any kind of joint venture. And ad swaps, and as we'll discuss, are very beneficial to both parties because both parties build up their opt-in mail list. Solo ads are effective because the person you're buying them from, you're actually paying them money, and in return you're getting leads onto your list. So it's a win-win both of these situations, and so it's great for creating joint ventures. And these are actually relatively simple systems to implement. They're not rocket science. They're very easy, as we're going to lay out. In fact, technical skills involved are very, very minimal to make this strategy work. Now, I'm going to start by talking about solo ads because solo ads are one of those things you almost have to do that first, especially if you're starting from scratch with your list building efforts. You need to start with solo ads first and then pursue ad swaps. And the reason is to do an ad swap, as we will cover later on here, you need to actually have people on your list first. And so what better way to get people onto your list than to invest in some solo ads to start your list building? Basically, with this strategy, you pay somebody with a list to promote your squeeze page for you. So for this method to work, you're going to need to have your own squeeze page set up. And if you've gotten this far in the training, you've already gone over the training which talks about what to have on your squeeze page, how to set up your squeeze page and all that. So you should be at the level now where you've got a squeeze page set up, or at least thinking about getting one set up. So this again is a method where you're going to pay somebody with a list. So it's going to be a marketer in your niche market. They might have a list of 5,000 people. They might have a list of 50,000 people. They might have a list of 10,000 people. But you're going to pay them to send out an email to their list. So it's not an affiliate relationship, but you're actually paying them. It might be $100, $200. We'll get over the pricing here in a little bit. But you're going to pay them to promote to your squeeze page. It's the perfect and easy way to start building a list from scratch because all you need to have is that squeeze page. You don't need to have, even a product to sell after they get onto that list. You don't even need to be that far ahead. You just need to have a squeeze page with a good free offer, a good ethical bribe to get people interested, whether that's a PLR product, whether it's an interview series you've done, a compilation of articles that you've put together that fit with your niche, whatever it is. It's a great way to start your list building from scratch with absolutely nothing. And it's very simple too. It's not like you're going to have to spend hours and hours pushing out content. You really need to just spend the time looking for people that might be willing to, to actually send out an advertisement for you. Prices can range on these from $30 clear up to $1,000 or more, and it really all depends how big the list is. The most are under $100 though, and again it's really going to depend on the list. A few solo ads pricing that I've seen is $75 for a mailing to a list of 15,000 people. I've seen $30 for a mail out to a list of 10,000 people. I've seen $1,000 for mailing to a list of 50,000 people. The prices really vary quite a bit, so that's something to keep in mind. Pricing on the solo ad, it's going to depend on several factors. It'll include the size of the list, so how many subscribers they actually have. Obviously, the more people they're reaching for you, the better off, the better off you're going to be, because you're going to reach more people and you potentially get more clicks. The quality of the list, if it's an active list or like a safe list, and we talk about safe lists actually in this course. I don't want you to think that you want to find out whoever you're getting your solo ad from, you want to make sure it's an active list that they're actually promoting to you. You don't want it to be on a safe list, which basically means, it's a group that a bunch of people have access to. You want to make sure you're buying a solo ad to somebody's legitimate list that's hitting people on their contact address. Safe lists are great, and they have a time and place for your list building efforts, and we do talk about that later in this course, but you need to make sure you're focusing on having that active list, and the quality of the list is going to make a big difference. I've seen solo ads out there. There's been solo ads done where you've got a list of 5,000 quality people, and that actually outperforms a list of 20,000 people that, yes, they have a lot of people on their list, but they may not be as quality and may not get as many clicks. Another factor in pricing will be guaranteed clicks. Guaranteed clicks are kind of a cool way to do solo ads, because basically you're paying for a number of clicks. And so what happens is if they send out, let's say they're charging you $100 for 500 clicks, and if your squeeze page converts at say 30%, and we'll talk about numbers as well, then you're guaranteed around 150 to 200 subscribers that you're probably going to end up getting, which that's going to work out pretty good in your favor. So guaranteed clicks is a cool way to go, and so of course the more clicks you're guaranteed, the higher amount you're going to pay. And as far as pricing goes, it's gonna vary with everybody, and so that's why you need to use the strategies that we discuss here to reach out to these people and find out what their pricing is. And I'll talk about a little bit more about pricing as we go on. So who are you buying the ad from? Certain marketers obviously are going to probably charge more. If you go to the biggest player in your industry, there's a good chance if they do solo ads, they're going to charge a premium for it. So you might want to look for other people using the strategies we'll discuss. You want to make sure you work with your budget and gradually grow it as your income increases. So I don't want you to tune me out and say, oh, well, this is great, but I'm dead broke, I don't have any money. Solo ads are one of those things that are a super good investment for your business. And if you look at it, if you actually went back and looked at your PayPal receipts or whatever for the last month, and I'm not being critical, but if you actually went back and looked at that, you would probably find that you spent, $100, $200 or so on different courses and different training programs. And it's not that those training programs are bad at all. None of those programs are bad for you. But if you look at that, you could actually invest that money, that $100, that $200, whatever it is, maybe you spent on digital products, you could have actually spent that, instead of just spending it on knowledge, you could have spent that on pure marketing for your, for your business. And so that's a factor right there where, you would be much better off if you were investing that money instead of in training at this time, maybe reinvesting that into into a solo ad so that you can actually get some subscribers on your list and continue the growth of your business. And so that's something to really look at. So before you write off this is a method for you, actually look at how you're spending some of your money in the marketing business and consider if this is something that you could actually redirect some of your expenses towards. I think you'll find that the payoff is going to be well worth it. And again, work with your budget. So another thing to consider doing with solo ads is to add a special offer. And you can use a special offer after they sign up to your list to generate revenue from the new subscribers. And this is a great way to actually get a quick return on your solo ad investment. So it's actually a very powerful way to make a solo ads almost a free form of marketing, because you can buy a solo ad for $100, and if you make, let's say, 10 sales back of a $10 product, then you've actually broken even, and your marketing didn't cost you anything, and you still built your list up. And so that's why considering adding a special offer is super important. And we did talk about adding a special offer prior to this training. A converting special offer will again will help offset the cost of the solo ad and may even pay for it entirely, and you may even come out ahead. And that's going to vary with every single advertisement, but at least it will help offset some of the costs. So if you spent 50 bucks and you make $30 back on your special offer, then your solo ad actually only cost you 20 bucks. And so you can see there that that actually makes your investment better, and you can reinvest some of that money into another solo ad and keep growing your business. Like you said, it could even generate a profit for you. So, this special offer could be your own product that maybe you've created if you're at that stage. It could be a product that's got private label rights to it that people, within your niche market would be interested in. So maybe you're in dog training, so you've Googled dog training private label rights and you found a good ebook or a good video course on dog training, and you decided that that's going to be the special offer after they opt in that they're going to get access to. So you could also, to make even more sales from your special offers, basically after they opt into your list and they click on the confirm link, they're taken to this special offer to learn more about your offer, so that after they confirm and they're on your list, they're automatically emailed your download link for the free offer. But then they're hit with this special, offer, and so they may decide to buy that. So it's being, putting your special offer in front of that targeted audience. And you could also add in a follow-up email or two for your special offer to generate more income within a day or two of your solo ad, again, to offset your advertising costs. So that means they get the special offer after they confirm, and then day 2, day 3, they're also hit with the offer. Hey, make sure you've checked out the special offer. It's related to what you want. I think you'll find the training interesting. You can kind of, word your email that way and redirect them and send them to that special offer page. And what will happen there is over time, that's going to help basically offset your solo advertising expenses. And so it basically eventually may help your advertising cost either be cut in half, maybe it's 30%, that you get back on your investing right away. But the important thing here is that we're building a list. We're not so concerned about how much money we're going to make on this special offer. That's really not the purpose of paying for solo ads. And what the main purpose of this obviously is to build up your list, because we've talked about your list is where your money's at. Your list is what you can promote to all year long, 5 years down the road if they're still with you. So that's why it's so important. So here's a little bit about solo ad benefits in action. So here's an example using numbers of how a solo ad could benefit you with growing your list and your profits. So let's just say a solo ad cost you $100. So you decide to invest $100. Obviously you could be spending more on an ad or less on a solo ad depending on where you are with your business. So this is just an example. So let's say it's $100, and let's say from this $100 investment they end up sending you 300 visitors to your site, which would be a decent solo ad. And let's say the conversion of your squeeze page is 30%, which typically is, that's a good converting, squeeze page. Some squeeze pages convert at up to 75%. The key is to test those out, obviously get your squeeze page to convert as best as possible. So of that, of those 300 visitors, 30% of that would be 90 new subscribers generated if you're doing the math. So your squeeze page converts at 30%, you got 300 visitors, your solo ad cost was $100, so you've generated 90 new subscribers. And let's say you have a special offer running of some sort. Maybe it's a video training or something that relates to what they signed up for to get on your list, because obviously this is going to fit with whatever niche market you are pursuing. And let's say on that you make 3 sales of the special offer. So that's a conversion of maybe 3% or so on that special offer, which is very conservative for a special offer promotion. So these numbers here I'm giving you are very conservative as well. So your instant revenue generated is $51. So that means instantly you've already got $51 back on your $100 investment. So really your solo ad for 300 clicks cost you just $49. And so you can see how it's starting to become beneficial for you. And as we go on here, let's just say on the follow-up emails, you set up a follow-up email sequence as recommended, and you made 2 additional sales for another $34. So that means you've made a total of $85 fairly instantly back. So your $100 all of a sudden only cost you $15 to get that solo ad. And remember, the whole point here is not to make profits on the special offer. If you do, that's excellent. The whole point here is to make profits by building up your subscriber list so you can promote to them years down the road or months down the road and onward, or even start promoting to them the following week with affiliate offers, whatever it is. So let's just say the year-long revenue of these 90 subscribers, typically if they stay around a year, most subscribers on average, and this is very conservative, some people argue it's $1 per person. Some marketers will tell you it's up to $2 per person on your list. Others will say it's 25 cents. Others will say 50 cents. So I'm just going to say 50 cents. We're going to go with the lower figure. But in most cases, I've seen it get to where it's $1 to $2 per subscriber. But let's just be, again, ultra conservative here and say each of these 90 subscribers is worth 50 cents to you per month. That means, if you were to promote to them, on average, each subscriber, overall you'd make 50 cents per subscriber on your list. You might only have 2 or 3 that end up buying the ebooks you promote of these 90 people, but if you averaged out the revenue, it would equal about 50 cents. So that's just kind of what we're going off here. So that 50 cents per 90 subscribers equals $45 per month. And if you were to do simple math, $45 times 12 equals $540 over the course of a year in additional revenue that was generated from this ad. So here's a total profits from your $100 investment. $540 was made for the year-long revenue, plus the $85 you made instantly, remember from the follow-up sequence and the special offer. So that equals $625 minus your $100 investment for the solo ad. That means your solo ad cost you, or basically made you, not cost you, but made you $525. So that means for every dollar you spent, you just made $5.25 back. So now obviously this, I can't say this is going to be the exact scenario you're going to face every time. You might make $2 back for every dollar you invest, or $1 back for every one, or $10 back, or $100, or whatever. It's all going to vary. But this is the idea of solo ads, and I used ultra conservative figures. I used very conservative conversions on the special offer. I put the average subscriber at 50 cents per month to you. On average, many people argue it's $1 per subscriber. So if that was the case, this would have actually ended up being, about $1,000. You would have made about $10 per dollar you spent. But the point here is you can see the benefits of doing solo ads, and you can see why it's a worthy investment for your business. And at this stage in your business, it's probably a smart thing to invest in. I know if you showed these figures to any business owner, any high-level business person, they're going to look at this and they would do this all day long if they could get this kind of return on anything, if they're even making $2 per return. Imagine people in the stock market if they could make $5 or 5 times every dollar they invest. They would be all over that. That would be like the hottest stock ever. And so, the idea here is this is something that you can use to invest in your business. So again, you made 5 times your money back with this scenario. So I hope this kind of excites you a little bit more about solo ads, and you can see the potential that's just sitting here to build up your list and make money at the same time with solo ads. So here's a little bit about the solo ad process overview. The first thing is you need to find a list owner in your niche market. So no matter what market you are pursuing, you need to find a list owner within that niche market. So if you are pursuing the dog training niche market, you need to find a person with a dog training type list. If you were in the stock trading market, you would find somebody there. The internet marketing, make money, biz op market, however you want to call it, you're going to find somebody in that niche. Maybe you're trying to reach realtors. You would look for people with real estate lists. And you want to contact that list owner in your niche by email. That's probably the easiest. You can also get them at their support desk, through email as well. And you want to just get a price quote on a solo ad. You want to talk about, this is who I am, this is what I'm doing, and I'll talk a little bit about how to address them. But basically, you want to approach them, for this opportunity. You might get turned down by half of them. You might get turned down by 75% of them, but 25% of them are going to go, hey, that's a pretty cool idea. I'm going to make, and a lot of times, especially if you're going after people in another niche, they may not have even thought of selling solo ads, and a lot of people, even in internet marketing, they're still not doing it just because they hadn't even thought of it. But it's a pretty easy source of revenue. They're thinking, hey, I can make $100 for just copying and pasting an advertisement you send me. Granted, maybe they could make more on their affiliate promotion, but hey, if they had nothing to promote that day, they just made $100. They can take their wife out or girlfriend out or whatever for a fancy meal, and so right there, that was worth it to them at the time. That was, hey, an easy $100 made or easy $200 made, and so it's a beneficial thing. So after you get a price quote from them, settle on a price, and you pay for the advertisement, you would send your list owner your swipe copy. So you want to go out there and send them an email, which basically your swipe copy is the email that you want them to send out that advertises your offer. And if you've ever been in internet marketing, which you have if you're watching this video, you've all seen emails come through, and typically those are copy and paste emails for different affiliate promotions. So what you want to do is go back through your inbox and take a look at how those are structured, and then position that for your free offer. Maybe include some bullet points, give people benefits and reasons to want to go check out your squeeze page, because when you're paying for the solo ad, a good swipe copy, a good email swipe is going to help you generate the most traffic possible when you're doing your solo ad. After you've sent them the swipe copy, make sure you follow up with them and contact the list owner for verification that they did receive everything. Make sure they're everything's verified from them. Then after they run your advertisement on the specified date, it might be the day after you get them the info, it might be a week after, whatever it is, typically you guys will settle on a date. You'll want to go back and look at your results. You want to ask them to send you additional information. You might request that after the ad is sent out that they send you a swipe copy or a picture showing how many clicks were sent. You can also use a site called bit.ly, that's bit.ly, and instead of sending them your direct squeeze page link, you could actually send them the link with bit.ly, and then bit.ly will actually track how many clicks were actually put on that. So that's a good way to track your advertisement and see how many clicks were actually sent for your solo ad. And then of course the next thing to do is once you've done one successful solo ad, it's going to be easy to do some more. So rinse and repeat. Find another list owner, contact them, get the price quote, send them that swipe copy, and it's just going to become a simple process. And basically you can set aside each month. Okay, each month I'm going to spend $100 on solo ads, or you maybe say, hey, I'm on a tight budget, I want to start with $30, do a solo ad, see how it goes. If you make some of your money back, reinvest that in another solo ad. Or maybe you're somebody that's really serious and you're like, hey, I'm gonna invest $500 for the next couple months on solo ads. I've got some money saved up. I'm just going to invest $500 each month and use that as my advertising budget to grow my business. It's really going to depend on your situation, of course. So finding list ad owners, there's several things you can do to find people with a list that you could actually joint venture with. One of the best places to look is article directories, and I'll actually give you guys ideas in the next few slides as to where to find more of these people. But article directories are perfect. No matter what your niche market is, article directories are perfect because they're loaded with people that are marketing in your niche market. These are people that are trying to market. These are people that have a list of some sort. They're experts on a certain topic. You can find everybody from fitness to dog training to weight loss to whatever the case might be, internet marketing, whatever it is, in Ezine articles or other major article directories. Online forums, there are forums specified for every single major niche market on the internet. You can't help but find them. There's forums on panic attacks. If that's your niche market, that's a great niche market. Panic attacks has got forums on that. So you can find people in those forums that may have a list of some sort that you might be able to partner with. The ClickBank marketplace, the marketplace, of course, has people in all kinds of niches, not just internet marketing, but in all kinds of niche markets. Most everybody with a ClickBank product typically is trying to list build at in some way. And so because they have a product, that they're serious enough and they're an expert in that niche, so they might be willing, to do a solo ad. They might have a responsive list that you could send to. Facebook groups or pages. Facebook is, huge, and it's loaded with people that have set up groups and pages specific to their various niche markets. Not everybody there is going to have a squeeze page, but many people are actually, basically marketing to people through a squeeze page. So you can look for these pages and groups and then contact them through Facebook, or contact them by email and say, hey, I noticed you were list building, or I'm interested in buying a solo ad from your targeted list, and here's my market and here's what I have to offer. And we'll talk about the approach in a moment. Obviously, Google or Yahoo searches. There's some different things you can actually search for. One of those is your niche phrase, and then in quotations the word "I respect your privacy." And you're probably going, why are you saying this? That doesn't make much sense to me. The reason you do a Google search like this or Yahoo search is your niche could be something like golf swings, or golf. Let's just say golf is your niche. And then, or you could type in golf swing because you're targeting the golf swings. You want to be more targeted. So you want to get people that are interested in improving their golf game onto a list. So you type in the phrase, golf swing, and then "I respect your privacy" in quotes. That's important that you do it in quotes. And what's going to happen is Google is going to look for phrases like golf swing or dog training or weight loss or panic attacks or internet marketing, whatever your market is, in relation to pages that have your niche on them, plus pages that use the exact phrase "I respect your privacy." And the reason we've selected the phrase "I respect your privacy" is because "I respect your privacy" shows up, as you've probably seen, on most autoresponder type forms. No matter what kind of form they're using, on most websites that are trying to build a list, they use the phrase "I respect your privacy." So you've instantly picked up a Google search with maybe 3,000 or 4,000 different people in your niche market that you could just spend all day long going to their website, looking up their emails, and contacting them, because they're all people that are list building of some sort. They may not have a huge list. They might be starting out just like you. They might have a list of 5,000 people. You might strike gold and find a few people with a huge list. The list size is going to vary, but doing this search, you're going to find people actively list building in your niche. And so these are all people you could contact for a potential solo ad, and I'll show you pictures here in a moment. Another example, like weight loss, "I respect your privacy." Golf, "I respect your privacy." That's kind of ways you could use Google. Now, article directories. I promised some pictures. Here's 3 of the top article directories: ezinearticles.com, goarticles.com, and articlesbase.com. These are great articles to submit your content to, by the way, as well, just to help generate traffic to your squeeze page or blog or what have you. But what we're using these for right now is to find solo ad owners. And again, keep in mind, every one of these methods I'm teaching you are actually going to apply for ad swaps, because once you have your list, you're going to need to find these same types of people and do ad swaps with them, because ad swaps, as we'll discuss, is basically a free way to do solo ads where both of you promote to somebody's squeeze page. But when you're starting out, or when you want to build your list quickly, solo ads are the fastest way to get there. That's why we started with this. But you've all probably been on an article directory, and if you haven't, you can go to any of these sites and review the content on them. But you want to go into the category related to your market. So I could go out there and I could look for, in this case, I've pulled up somebody that's also in internet marketing, and we've done a search for, found this guy had an article on it. I have no clue who this individual is, just found him on there, and you'll notice he's got a link right there that I highlighted with an arrow in his resource box, and the resource box is typically found below every single article. Not everybody in there is going to be using the article directories to list build, and so you want to do some, spend some time looking around for those that are actually list building. But in this case, this happens, if you clicked on that, would go over to his squeeze page, and or his blog or whatnot. But either way, on his blog there is also a form to get people on your list. So if that's something you find when you go, that's good too. You're just basically looking for people that are actively list building in some way, because if they're list building, then that means they probably have a list that you could send out to. And of course, since you found them in there, you know that they are really that they're serious about it, because you found them, through your niche. They wrote a good article on your niche, and so you found them that way. And so the thing you can do is just go to their sites and contact them through their support desk, through their contact us page, through their email address that you find. Somehow most sites will have a way to get in touch with them. basically most sites have that now just because they're required to, to have ways for people to contact them. So do some searches on article directories to come across people that you could contact to do solo ads. These are targeted people that have, the list that you are seeking. Again, here's another example. If I were to click on this, I actually went to this individual's website, and you'll see here on his blog, you'll notice here he's got on the right hand side, he's got a claim your free copy of Essential Internet Marketing Success Elements. It's basically his free report. He's taking people's name and email, so you know that this person is serious about building up his subscriber list. So he's probably got a list of some sort, and so you'll notice in that the shorter arrow pointing up near the top, you'll see he's got a home, contact, about, terms of use. Everybody's going to have probably a contact or an about us page on most websites. Some may not, but most of them will. They'll have a support or a contact or anything like that. So you can just click on the contact. Either you'll get his email address, you'll get a form, or you'll get some other way to reach out to them. But this is a great place to start, is look at their website. They could be list building on their blog. They could be list building direct from a squeeze page, which in that case you'd look in the footer for the contact and about us pages. But somehow you'll have a way more than likely to contact them. So this would be an instance where I would reach out to this person and say, hey, I noticed you're list building. I've got a great free product for your target market, and I would like to pay you to run a solo ad to your list. So online forums is another way to go. It's kind of what we talked about. A great place to start is Google. You could also use Yahoo or Bing, but Google is a great search engine. They return excellent results, which is why we're using them. But you can go out and go to dog training forums, and you'll find a huge list of dog training forums that you could actually join and become a part of, and actually use these for your own list building as well. You can use your signature link in there after you've been posting a while to get people onto your blog or to your list. And here's a little bit that you're looking at. You want to look for signature links that lead to websites. So look for the top contributors and posters on the forums, and then send them a private message or email if they have a website, that you can find. And so you want to look for these top contributors. And also some people, even without being top contributors, will have links of some sort. This is a golf forum I was just using as an example. And this person had a website that was like an affiliate website. They weren't really list building, so they weren't the best example, of somebody to contact. But you would spend some time look for people, kind of like in article directories, and eventually you'll come across a few people that you could actually reach out to. And getting involved in these forums is good to know who the big players are, because they may help you when it comes time for you to release your own product. And so it's good to have these connections anyways. Not to mention the fact that you can get involved in the forums and have your signature link at the bottom as well, which is another perfect way to get targeted people to your squeeze page. That's another little bonus tip with this video. We do talk about forum marketing as well. So the ClickBank Marketplace, this is where you can browse products by your niche and contact the product owners, and most of them again have a list that fits your niche already, because they're actively selling a product. They've done enough to where they've created their own product, or they've marketed a good product on ClickBank, and they've probably had some affiliates, they've probably had some traffic, and most of them are smart enough to realize the importance of list building. So there's somebody you could actually pursue. And if you go to ClickBank, and their site could change from time to time, but you want to look for where it says Marketplace. Right now it's at the very top, and you want to click on Marketplace, and once you go to Marketplace, you'll actually see the different categories. You've got arts and entertainment, they've got betting, they've got business and investing, computers, e-business, internet marketing, affiliate marketing. They've got just quite a large list of e-business. They've got fitness products, and basically you're just going to the ClickBank Marketplace, and you're just going to simply click on these various products. You'll click on the on the names of the products, and you'll probably be taken to their sales page, which is perfect because on most of their sales page they'll have a support desk link, they'll have a email address, or they'll have a privacy policy page which will contain their email as well. So you want to just browse products by your niche. There's a whole flood of people on ClickBank that you can contact. Another place that we talked about for finding excellent solo ad partners is Facebook groups or Facebook pages. This is an example. I went to Facebook using the search feature and just typed in the phrase dog training and came back with this as an example. This is the Bark Busters home dog training course, and if you went to their site, you would find that Bark Busters offers dog training content as well, and so you could actually reach out to them. They even have their phone number there, so you could actually contact them and see if they had a list that they would do a solo ad in. So you can do this for whatever your niche market is, but you'll come across some different people that you wouldn't find in forums, you wouldn't find in article directories, that you wouldn't find in ClickBank maybe, but these are different people you could reach out to in your niche that might be interested in doing solo ads. And again, this now I bring you to the Google or Yahoo searches, and this I think is one of the simplest strategies because you're automatically going to zero in on people with squeeze pages or with a web form active on their blog. You're going to find people that are serious about their list building. So search for your niche, and again the phrase "I respect your privacy" in quotes, and then contact them through email or a support desk link, and you can reach out to them. You'll notice this example here with dog training and I respect your privacy returned a little over 18,000 results. So that is a lot of websites and a lot of potential people that you could actually reach out to do a solo ad with, to do an ad swap with, maybe down the road to do a joint venture with. Joint ventures are a great way to list build because they send you a pile of traffic to your website, so you can use exit pop-ups, which we're also going to talk about later on, as a way to list build also. So but this is about solo ads and ad swaps, but these principles will apply for finding joint venture partners as well. So keep that in mind as you move forward with this, because this is a method that you're definitely going to want to return to this training, especially when you start looking for JV partners as well. So, but this strategy works wonders for getting people that are list building. Now here's the most important element. Obviously finding people, that's super important, and knowing a little bit about solo ads work, but probably one of the most important thing is once you find them, what do you do with them? It's kind of like the dog that that chases a car. Once they get that car, what are they going to do with it? They don't know what to do with it. So in this case, I've sent you on this chase to find people to do solo ads with in your niche, but how do you approach them? How are you going to do that? That's what I'm going to talk about. So you want to send them a simple email basically stating the following. You would like to pay them to send out an email on your behalf giving away a free and valuable product to their subscribers. And so what it does is basically your first, you're not really you're basically addressing them with a benefit to them. Hey, I'm willing to pay you. I'm not somebody that's just saying, hey, send out to my list for me, for nothing. I'm willing to pay you to send out an email, on my behalf, giving away a free and valuable product to your subscribers. Include a link, say, here's a link to the free offer, and here's a link to the download page so you can actually review this offer for your subscribers. So that's why it would be good if you're going to use this method to make sure you've got a good quality private label rights product. And again, this will work with any niche markets. You don't have to be that big golf guru. You can find a good quality private label rights golf product and become that expert basically because you've got your own product out there. But use that product and then contact these people to possibly do a solo ad. And it's super important to ask the following thing. If you are interested in this opportunity, what is the size of your list, and how soon can my offer go out, and what is the price for a solo ad blast, or what is the price for a solo ad? Basically, it's important to know these things because you need to know their list size before you invest in them, for one. You also, of course, need to know how soon the offer can go out, because sometimes they might say, yeah, I can get your solo ad out, but it might be 30 days down the road, and you don't want to pay them and then have to wait 30 days to get a return on your money. And so like for example, let's say your budget was $100 for that month on solo ads, and this person said, yeah, I could do a solo ad for $50, and they do a solo ad for $50, but it takes 45 days for them to send out your ad. You're out that money for 45 days. So you'd be better off finding somebody else that maybe could get your ad out within that next week. You'd get your ad out a lot faster, get your return on the money back so that you could reinvest it to keep growing your list. So it's important to know how soon that offer can go out. And then also, obviously, you need to know the price so you know what decision to make and how to pursue it. What'll sometimes happen, and you'll want to be prepared for this, a lot of times, especially once you start going after other niche markets besides internet marketing and make money type niche markets, you're going to run into people that they think the idea is cool because they're like, well, this is neat, I can make money from my list. It's another way to make income, but they're also going, I don't really know what to charge. I'm kind of new to this. You'll actually get people that will actually say that to you. That'll say, hey, I'm willing to do this. I think it's great. It sounds like a good deal. I like your offer, but I don't really know what to charge. Could you give me an idea? And you could say, hey, you could give them some examples. For mailing to a 15,000 person list, I've spent $75, or to a mailing of this. And especially if you're brand new and you haven't done that, then you could just give them some ideas and say, for a list your size, and be fair with it too. Don't try to lowball them and say, yeah, for a list your size, I'd be willing to spend $25. If they have a big list, be real about it. If they have a huge list and they want to guarantee you a certain number of clicks on their message, then maybe offer them your $100 if they have a big enough list. So most of the time when they're asking you what to charge, they're going to be actually more apt to to be like, hey, yeah, let's do this. So just be prepared for that. You might run into people that say, I would love to do this, but I don't really know what to charge. And also be prepared to get a lot of no's. Just like anything, you're going to get people say, hey, no, I don't want to subject my list to this, or I'm not willing to do this right now. For whatever reason, they might tell you they don't want to do this, and that's fine. That's completely obviously up to them. That's their list. So you can just move on to the next person and make note that they weren't interested, and at least keep their contact on hand, because they might want to do a joint venture with you down the road and maybe promote an affiliate offer for you. And again, be polite and say you wish to work with them soon in your email. So, be polite about it, be courteous, be professional. That'll stick out with them, and more than likely you might end up getting the result you're seeking. Now your swipe copy, is one of those other elements. Everything with solo ads is important, all the elements. Swipe copy is another one, because you can't expect them, for the amount you're paying for a solo ad, to go ahead and write swipe copy too. Some people may volunteer to do it, but that's very few and far between. So you always want to be prepared with swipe copy that they can send out. So it's super important, because you need to be able to give them something they can use. Swipe copies used like if you're doing a joint venture, where you're having somebody promote your product for you. It's good to give them swipe copy so they don't have to think about the promotion. They can just copy and paste, put in their affiliate link, add a few words that maybe makes it more their own, and then send it out to their list. So again, this works just the same for solo ads. It'll work for ad swaps, but you need to have some swipe copy. Swipe copy basically is just email ad copy, just like, again, all the advertisements you've seen in your inbox. Go back and look through some of those and copy and paste them and kind of use a few as a template, and come up with a couple different variations. So again, this is a copy of the email that you want that person to send out for you. So this is that email that they would turn around and send to their list. And make sure you even insert the bit.ly tracking link in there as well, or your direct squeeze page link, whatever it is. And again, include subject lines for them to copy and paste. You could include one of them. You could include 3 or 4 options as well. I like to give them 3 or 4 options, and then I also like to give them a few written up for them. So I like to give them 2 swipe copies and a couple subject lines for each. And the reason is you want to make it as easy as possible for them. And typically, since they know their list, they're going to know if their list will respond to a long email or a short one as well. So I try to have a long one and a short one available that they could plug in and to their list, whatever they think will fit best, or they could add elements from both. It's really going to depend on how they do it. Some people will take your swipe copy, make it their own, but the point is you want to give them something to start with that'll make their life much easier and yours as well. So try to go again with that short version and long versions. Everyone's list will be different, and everyone's gonna want to respond differently. So your final email, after you've set up the solo ad, after you've gone through the process of paying them for the solo ad, you've gone through the process of getting the marketer, and you need to send out your final email to them, which will include your swipe copy with the possible subject lines. Maybe it's 2 variations of the swipe copy. You want to send out confirmation with that on the agreed upon date and time for them to send out your offer. Basically, you could say, hi, just wanted to, send you over the swipe copy you need for the advertisement. Looking forward to working with you. Just wanted to confirm this is for the advertisement to go out on, April 13th at 9:30 a.m. Eastern or whatever. That way you kind of confirm the date that you set. You don't always have to set a time, but some people will like to do that as well. You want to ask them to send you a follow-up after the offer goes out. Say, hey, after the offer's gone out, could you please just, let me know when it's gone out. Just a simple email is what a lot of them will just send back. And then again, express your appreciation for working with them. And again, be professional, because people you buy solo ads from could be great JV partners for you in the future. You always want to keep the professionalism high so that you can work with them later on. So here's a little warning. I told you all about the great benefits and value of solo ads. They are absolutely tremendous. There's a lot of value with them, but there's also a few things to be cautious of. And if you apply some of these ideas, it's going to minimize the chance that you end up getting ripped off with the solo ad. I'm not saying it's going to happen. And again, I don't want you to take this warning as a scare tactic so that you don't go approach this method. Because as I've learned with any kind of business, if you're trying to be successful, if you let fear hold you back, fear of maybe even getting scammed or fear of losing money because somebody ripped you off, then you're going to be living in that fear, and you're not going to want to ever pursue and ever get above that hump where you're at in your business. So look at it as, hey, if I do 10 successful solo ads and one of them's a failure, the other 90% were pretty good. So I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying that look at this warning as a cautionary tale so that you can actually be protected and minimize the chance that you do run into a scam situation, because it does happen on occasion where you run into people that you pay for a solo ad, and in return they don't send out the offer. They just take your money and walk away. The most important thing, though, is to heed some of these warnings. So whoever you pay to do a solo ad for you should be someone that you have checked out. And of course, doing the process where you're actually physically contacting ththese people, that actually tells you right there that these people generally are much better people to work with. And sometimes if you ever do run into a problem where somebody's trying to take your money, it's going to be people that are found on forums, and they're actually actively posting and saying, hey, and this isn't everybody. There's actually good people that still do this, but they're actively posting on these forums and saying, hey, I would like to do a solo ad with you, and or I've got a list of this much and I charge this much to a solo ad. They're basically actively selling selling solo ads just to their list. That's pretty much how they're making a lot of their money, supposedly, is by selling solo ads. And so the reason you want to be cautious there is because a lot of times these people that are out to get people's money and to basically make you pay them and then not return the service, is their goal is just to get as many people as possible. So they're going to these public places and posting and all this. But if you're actually actively looking for these people, looking for their squeeze pages, looking for them in article directories, looking for them in the forums, meaning like people that are heavy posters, that's why it's important to check them out. You probably want to steer clear of the person with 1 or 2 posts in the forums. That's why I was saying look for the people that have 1,000 posts, 500 posts, 7,000 posts. These are people that have been around, they're active, and they're a part of those forums, and look for these people. But again, whoever you pay to do a solo ad for, you should be someone that you have checked out a little bit. Type in their name into the search engines, and maybe their product if you found them on ClickBank, and you'll get some ideas. You want to get a screenshot of their subscriber proof if possible. Most people that are honest will give you this since you're investing money with them. So you might want to ask, hey, could I just get a screenshot of it? And this is one of those things where you just kind of want to depend on the on the situation here. Again, if these are people that are actively posting on forums and trying to sell solo ads, there's a your meter should go up that oh, I might, these people might be a little unethical, and if people are getting ripped off, they're usually going to post right below on those forums, but again, if you're actively looking for these people and you're having to physically contact them and say, hey, I would like to do a solo ad with you, there's a great chance they're not a scam artist, because if they were, they would be actively trying to get people into their scam, and like I said, it's such a tiny percentage of people that might rip you off. It's just something to be warning. I'd be doing you a disservice by not sharing this with you. So again, don't let fear ruin the benefits that solo ads can have for you. Look up their names in the niche forums, because people will talk in the forums and on Facebook about these people. And again, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. Like if someone approaches you with the solo ad to 100,000 people for $100 even, or $200, or even $50, you need to be careful. Someone with the list that size wouldn't sell a solo ad spot probably for less than $500 or even $1,000. 100,000 person list, they're hard to come from. Most of those people are very popular people. In fact, you would know who they are, if you ran across them. So, and they're not going to probably part with the solo ad for less than $500 or even $1,000. So, of course, if the price and value seems too good to be true, you should also investigate it a little bit more and maybe move on to somebody else. It's not saying that every once in a while you might come across a steal though, where you've got somebody with a great list. One experience is, there's been solo ads I've done where you have a list the size, find somebody with a list of 60,000 people, and for $200 they'll send out to that list, and they end up sending you like 800 clicks. So every once in a while you run across a gem, a worthwhile, a very, very good deal. So you just want to do some checking on things if it looks too good to be true, and that can easily be done, because if they have a list that size, there's a good chance that they are recognized in their niche. You'll find stuff about them on forums, you'll find stuff about them on Facebook, you'll find different ways to check up on them. So just spend your time, do a little bit of background research on people, and you should be just fine. Even if their list size checks out, ask how they got their subscribers. Like for example, some of these people may have a list of 100,000 people, but it's all a rented list, which is no good for you. And I would wager to say, if you find somebody with a list that's anything 50 to 100,000 in that range, and you can't find anything out there about them on the internet, there's a good chance that they may not have a list that size, or they may not be willing to mail out for you. Basically, because if you've built up your list to that size, 50 to 100,000 people, there is a very good chance that you are actively doing things to build that list, meaning they've actively built up their own set of products that they've promoted. They've actively been a part of some major forums in that niche, or they've got a lot of customers, and they've got a lot of joint venture partners, and so you're going to find a few things about that person. So again, if you can't find anything about these people and they're claiming to have a huge list, you might want to just move on. But again, this warning here is not to scare you off. This is a tremendous opportunity. I just want to be as fully honest as possible, and the chances of you getting scammed at this are extremely minimal, and the benefits far out exceed that minimal chance that this is going to happen. It's just like anything out there. Something could go wrong, and this is about the only thing that could go wrong with a solo ad is if you pay somebody and they don't send out in return. And that's why it's important to get the screenshot sometimes after they've set up your queued up your advertisement for you. If you're really worried about somebody, maybe it's somebody you found in a forum, you could even offer and say, I'll pay you half up front and then the other half after the solo ad's gone out. Maybe you don't want to do that on everybody, because they might think you're going to cut and run with the other half of the money. But so you kind of want to just be as honest and open as you can be, and just spend some time doing some research. So solo ad profitability, make sure you seriously consider this as part of your list building activity. It is hugely profitable for you. Even if you're spending $50 a month or $100 a month, you can be constantly and consistently growing your list up. As your list grows, you can take part in ad swaps, which we'll talk about next, to continue that list growth for you even further. So this is a great way to kickstart your list building efforts. So here's a little bit about ad swaps. An ad swap is very similar to a solo ad, except you don't have to pay for it. So that's the biggest thing of it. You basically pay for it by sending the list owner's offer to your current list, and in return they send your offer to their subscribers. So basically it's one of those deals where you promote for them on a specified date and they promote for you on that same date as well. So it's kind of a, both parties win, both parties get new leads. This method really only works once you have around 200 to 500 subscribers. So you can start with solo ads or other list building methods to grow your list to that level. And then you could start pursuing ad swaps with people, because of course you can't really do an ad swap with somebody honestly unless you have a list that you can reciprocate with. So you can do solo ads or ad swaps with less, as I've seen it done by several people. I've come across them where they've got a list of 100 people only and they've swapped with somebody else with a list of 200 people. So yes, it's not going to be the hugest amount of subscribers, but it's one of those things that's going to keep growing. Anything you can do to keep growing that list is going to benefit you. And keep in mind the value. If your subscribers are worth 50 cents per subscriber per month or $1 per subscriber per month, then that means you've made that much more money. So if you picked up 20 people by doing an ad swap, that's an extra $10 a month, $120 a year. Look at it in the long term and you're going to start realizing everything you do to list build ends up getting a good return on your investment with your time. An ad swap works great though because it doesn't cost you any cash out of pocket. Plus you can even use that special offer and actually make money off your ad swap instantly, not to mention the subscriber possibility down the road, and not to mention the chance that you have a bigger list so you could even do more ad swaps with larger list owners, which could grow your list even faster and kind of take your list building efforts and virally grow it. It does take time to find a great ad swap partner for you that will work with you, sometimes especially if you're starting out, and that's why I recommend solo ads first, so you have a formidable list, so at least you have somebody to swap with. The effort is worth it though, just like any other list building method. There's a balance you'll want to achieve though, as you don't want to do ad swaps for any free giveaway product. Like you want to be careful as you're doing these, and I'll talk about those, but you want to make sure that even if you find somebody to do an ad swap with, you do want to check out their product, because what will happen is they may end up having a squeeze page offer that is just terrible, that you would not want to recommend to your subscribers, because you also want to keep your subscribers happy, and so you want to position your ad swaps as this is something I found that can benefit you, and you only want to of course swap with people that are in your niche market as well. Make sure the product is of the highest quality possible to maintain credibility with your list. Some people might not even want to ad swap with a squeeze page. They might want to have you send out to their sales page, and that's perfectly fine as well. So I mean, they might not want to, but in return, I would always make sure that you are swapping and having them send to a squeeze page, so you're always list building. Apply the same methods for finding solo ad partners when going after possible ad swap partners. You are reaching the same people. Again, just like all those methods I taught also work for finding joint ventures, but using Google to find list owners, using Yahoo as well, online forums, Facebook pages, ClickBank Marketplace, article directories, all those methods, use those to find good ad swap partners. The difference here is that you're mentioned that you're looking to do an ad swap where you promote their sign up page in exchange for them promoting your free offer, and a lot of times they will be willing to go with that. You want to make sure you ask them what dates they are free to run the ad swap on, and ask them to send over their offer page and swipe copy for you to send out. Make sure you're addressing those elements. So here's the keys to good ad swaps. The key thing is to ensure that after you confirm dates of the ad swap, that you queue up the offer in your autoresponder. It's very important, meaning that you set up the offer they send to you, mainly so you don't forget about it. Especially if it's an ad swap you set out that's a week out, you don't want to forget about it and say, and it comes time to it and they send out for you and you haven't sent out for them, and they're going to go, what happened here? So you do want to make sure their offer's queued up. Set it up again so you don't forget it, so it's out of sight, out of mind, and you can set up the next ad swap. And then it's also good practice to take a screenshot using Jing. Jing is something by TechSmith. It's a free software, Jing. And once you set up your offer, it's good to show them that it's queued up for the time. So you can go to your Get Response or your Aweber and actually take a picture and show that it's queued up with the date specified. And what will happen here is once they see that, they might be more apt to reciprocate to you and say, all right, I've included my screenshot as well. Here's my ad set up. So, and also it's another excuse to email them, and they might go, oh man, he's got his ad already queued up, I need to go do that because I'm going to look bad here. So it makes them want to do that. Make sure both parties get their offers out is most important with any ad swaps, and that's why it's important to follow up and make sure those elements. So ad swap matchup. Matching clicks or list size is something that will likely be asked from an ad swap partner. Sometimes matching clicks is a good way to go, especially if you have a smaller list. Like let's say you have a list of 1,000 people, and you're swapping with somebody that maybe has a list of 5,000 people, but maybe you're willing to match. Maybe he's saying, hey, I've got my list of 5,000, but I'm willing to match though. Up to, let's match 200 clicks basically. So let's say that on each email you maybe get 75 clicks. So you might have to send out 2 or 3 emails to your list to reach the over 200 clicks, whereas they might only send out 1 email to get those 200 clicks. But in that case, it's not as bad for you though, because you're sending them, the match clicks. You're getting 200 clicks. That could have cost you 75 to 100 bucks. So you're getting this for free. If you were to just pay the solo ad, so you're getting that for free. It might cost you, take you a little more time because you've got to send out once or twice, twice maybe to your list. But it's a good way to go, especially if you're swapping with somebody. So it's a good option to give people. When you're brand new, this is a strategy you may want to look to for people with smaller lists, and you can find them on forums. But just like solo ads, don't be afraid to contact everyone with a list, because you never know who might be willing. Some people might have a list of 10,000, you have a list of 2,000, and they go, all they worry about is leads. They're not so worried about that. They're just like, hey, I like fresh leads, so they might promote for you. 10,000, they may do an ad swap even if you have a list of 1,000. So sometimes what happens too is they may only send to a segment of their list. So if you have a list of 1,000 and maybe they have a list of 10,000, but they have like 5 lists and one of their list has like 1,200 people on it, they might send to that list of 1,200 people, just to match your people. So you're sending to 1,000, they're sending to 1,000, and they're not sending to their entire list, but you're still doing the ad swap. And so there's all sorts of variations you can do. An ad swap, again, completely fair and ethical, of course, to do it this way, because then you're matching list size when you send out. So matching clicks is very difficult to do, but can be helpful to secure a good ad swap partner. And it's not so much that it's super difficult. It is one of those things, though, you want to make sure that you are matching clicks. So they might send you a screenshot and say, hey, I've sent you 500 clicks, and it doesn't mean they have to be exact. It just means they need to be in a ballpark figure. Most people are reasonable to know, hey, there's no way we can each send 572 clicks. But if they're going to send you 530 clicks and you send them 120 clicks, there's a big difference there. And so you might want to do another push to try to match, get that clicks within 50 to 100 of each other at least. So it's going to be a little more worthwhile. And remember, doing good ad swaps is great because these are potential joint venture partners down the road as well. So you can mention that you're willing to match only up to a certain number of clicks, since you know what your list usually produces as far as clicks. So it's easy for you to do this. Like you could say, hey, I'm willing to do a matched ad swap of 200 clicks, or 100 clicks. And then they might respond with, hey, that's cool, let's do it. I'll match up to 100 clicks. And if you look at it, if they send you 100 clicks, you send them 100 clicks, and your squeeze page converts at 30%, like we talked about, then that's 30 new subscribers you've got on your list. 50 cents per subscriber, that's an extra $15 a month. Times that by 12, that's $300 per year that you added by doing one email. So you can see how this method can grow your business. The key thing is that you are list building with this strategy overall. Always focus on sending people to that squeeze page. Again, an ad swap warning, just like with solo ads, be careful who you're dealing with to ensure you both get benefits. And again, this kind of goes more for people that are actively posting on forums and they're saying, hey, let's do an ad swap, and they've got these huge list size and they're willing to swap with anybody. Again, that's one of those too good to be true moments. So just, steer clear of those people. So again, do your research on these people. Most of the people you work with are good people and someone you can trust, but there's always a few, or at least one out of every 100 or so, that that may not promote your offer after you promoted their deal. So use forums to research their name. And again, if the ad swap seems too good to be true, it probably is. If they have an enormous list and they're willing to swap with you and your small list, then there's a good chance, that they may not want to do it. Like a person with a list of 50,000 or more is more than likely won't swap with you if you have a tiny list, or even if you had a list of 5,000, they wouldn't even want to match that. So just keep those things in mind. Before you agree completely to the swap, make it a point to check out the link and offer they are promoting to ensure it is of good quality. Make sure you check out that list, because these are your new subscribers that you paid to get through solo ads, and so you want to keep them happy, and you don't want to abuse ad swaps. You don't want to. You might want to do 1 or 2 ad swaps a month, for example. Instead of some people will do them once a day for a while just to like get a bunch out there. But that's good. That's not good though, because that really waters down your list. And so it's a good method if you do a couple a month or so. And if those couple that you do per month that you set up, those, or maybe one a week that you set up, that it's a good free offer, that it's an offer that you yourself would opt in for. And that's important. You don't just want to send them junk offers. You want to send them a good free offer. They may have you promote a squeeze page offer, even a sales page, and then just check that the squeeze page delivers what it promises, and look at the sales page to ensure it doesn't look like it's full of hype, and it's something that you would look at too. You know your niche market, so hey, if it's something that draws your attention, it might draw your list attention as well. And granted, yeah, they may make some money by you promoting direct to their sales page, and that's fine, but you're mainly the main goal of what you're doing here is to get people on your list. So good credibility with your subscribers, again, is going to be more important than promoting a bad experience to them. So that's one of the few times you need to say no to a list building opportunity. So if they say, hey, let's do an ad swap, but they're sending you to a product that's just junk, it just is garbage, it wouldn't be worth them to opt in for. Maybe it's sending them to a sales page that's just loaded with hype or something that you don't even agree with, then that would be a good chance to say no. I would, this doesn't really fit what I've got. Do you have another offer, or just move on to somebody else? So ad swap profitability, here's an example using some numbers. Let's say an ad swap costs you 15 minutes to set up. With the ad swap, you get 150 visitors. We're just going to stick with our average 30% conversion. Of course, you could convert at 50% or more. This sends you 45 subscribers. And let's say you have a $10 special offer and you sold 3 of those. So instantly, like I said, you generated $30 in revenue. And in the follow-up, you sold 2 more. So you've made $50 in revenue off just a special offer, off this 15 minutes that you spent. That's pretty good on time spent. And again, 50 cents per month per subscriber, that could be higher. Your year-long revenue from those 45 new subscribers from this one ad swap that took 15 minutes for you to really, set up the emails and do the verifications, send them the swipe, is $22.50 per month, or an extra $270 per year. So total revenues from your time investment was $270 a year, plus that $50 in the special offer revenue, for a total of $320. So you just made a recurring income stream, and that's the way you need to be looking at list building, is that recurring income that can come from that. Now repeat this step, because you noticed right there how profitable it is. And it is so profitable, so it's not worth it for you to get caught up that you might run into one person out of every 50 ad swaps that tries to not hold up their end of the bargain. That's fine. Move on to the next person and just keep the ship moving forward. So there you go, $320 from 15 minutes. I think anybody out there, any business owner, would do that over and over again. So I just want to thank you for joining this part of our training. This is a good stuff that you can use to build your business. So now you know how important and powerful these 2 methods are for you. The next step, of course, is to take action and start looking for solo ads and ad swaps. If you already have a list of subscribers or customers, you could start doing ad swaps. Or if you're just starting from scratch, look at investing in some solo ads. Try to do a solo ad and an ad swap at least once per month to keep fresh leads coming into your list at a consistent pace. If you can afford it, do a solo ad a week. Or do a solo ad a day, to really kickstart things. Whatever you can afford, do that with your solo ads. But remember, you can start with the smallest of budgets and try to, find somebody that will match that. So it's time to take action to start growing your list with ad swaps and solo ads and reap the benefits later on for this highly effective strategy.